Welcome back to the Jaguar S-Type, and today we're going to be tackling the transmission service. So before we get started, I wanted to socialize a few tools that we'll be using and a few parts as well. So we've got a replacement transmission pan here. It's a filter in here, which is where you tend to replace it. It's got a series. The kit came with a series of these replacement screws. These take I think it's let's have a look here. Yeah, it's a Torx 40. So I'm assuming that the existing pan underneath the S-Type, which has got the ZF 6HP26 transmission, will use the same. As part of the kit, we also got a replacement. This is for the looks like for the fill port on the transmission box itself. You can see it's got a, looking closely here, it's got a washer in there as well, so that's kind of quite handy. And again, there's a slightly different fixture on that. That is a hex or an Allen 8mm, so I've got that, and I'll be using a ratchet set with these attachments, of course. Flip over this transmission pan, you'll see the drain port just there. Again, it's written on, it's a plastic one rather than a metal one, which means it takes the maximum of 8mm in terms of 8 Newton meters in terms of torque. Also got a temperature gauge. A bit unusual, you might think, but the process we'll be following is we'll be looking to pull the existing filter, or pull the existing pan. So we'll be doing this on a completely cold car, just so we don't get any transmission fluid spurting anywhere. We'll start off with obviously releasing the drain port, let it drain out, and I'll use my oil catcher to catch the waste fluid. Once it's all drained down, we'll then look to remove all of the screws on the pan, and then carefully remove it. This one just needs to pull down out of the transmission block, just by hand, no tools required. And then we'll look to carefully remove it, because there will be some fluid in the pan left that won't drain out, so we'll do that. And then we'll look to fit this one, but I need to make sure we've got a gasket running around here all the way around, so I just need to make sure that that comes off cleanly from the old one. If not, I'll just clean up that surface a little bit, and then we'll just look to refit this. I think these ones, these screws here will torque to around 10 Newton meters. So the other tool that I've not got out at the moment will be my torque wrench, so I can do that correctly and accurately, just because I don't want to over tighten and damage anything. Other bits we've got as well, we need to obviously replace the fluid. Now, the recommendation is to have new transmission fluid, or automatic transmission fluid, ATF, that is to the ZF Lifeguard 6 specification. And indeed, ZF do actually manufacture the Lifeguard 6. But if you notice on here, this is the Millomatic solution. It's the XF Premium. And if you look at the compatibility in terms of suitable for, you'll notice it does include Jaguar, and it also includes vehicles with the Lifeguard 6 and also the Lifeguard 8 standard. So we know it's a compatible fluid. So I've got 5 litres here, 1 litre, 1 litre, 7 in total. And just in here, oh, that slid off. Oh, just over here even. I've got a receptacle here. We'll put all the fluid in there. This only takes about 3 litres per go. So I'll be refilling it a couple of times, but essentially it enables me to pump in the fluid. And what's really good, or hopefully really good about this, is this flexible pipe here, because the fill port isn't that conveniently located, and I don't really want to get covered in new transmission fluid. So if you look what I'm doing here, you can see I can bend it into pretty much any shape I like, which is really handy. It means I can hook it in there. I've got a valve here to control the flow, and also I can pressurize here, and you've got a bleed valve there. I can pressurize the system with the fluid, and hopefully that should make for a fairly pain-free exercise in terms of replacing the fluid. Okay, so here's a view of the transmission pan from underneath the car. So just over there out of the shot is the drain pipe, or the drain port, shall I say. And then just here I'll sort of show you, this bit here is the fill port. So just for locational reference, that's on the right hand side of the car. So what we'll do next is we'll just look to do a cold drain on this just now. Yep, that feels about right. Here we go. Yeah. Any minute now, she'll drop her load. Yeah. There we go. Drain through. Let's see if we can have a go at some of these bolts whilst we're down here. Oh, that feels like it's a little bit tighter than it should be. Let's crack these off. There we go. Just going to loosen them all off. Well, this certainly is a battle against the elements. So I managed to get the old tray out from the gearbox, and this isn't going to come out too well, I don't think, on here, but these magnets, there's no real trace, apart from the water from the rain, of course, there's no real trace of any metal deposits, so I'm quite pleased with that. The oil, well, yeah, that's pretty dirty, but I'd expect it to be slightly brown, or if not slightly black. That's all drained out now, so what I'd like to try and do is try and get the other pan on without getting any water involved. So here are the internals of the part of the gearbox, and the blue and yellow parts are the change solenoids. So what we'll be looking to do is to offer up this replacement. It's identical, it's still in its bag at the moment. I'll take that out once I'm ready to mount it up, because I don't want to get any moisture into the ZF6HP 26 transmission block at all. Okay, so this is day 2. Day 1 we end up having to abandon because it was just torrential rain. We had another really bad storm, and got soaked through twice, so we had to call it a day. But what I was able to do, just a brief recap on terms of the steps we've been able to perform as part of this transmission service. I've been able to get the new filter and pan on. So you can see here I've got all new bolts going through here. And then I was able to finally go round with my torque wrench and torque these just to 10 Newton meters. That's not very tight. Remember, this is plastic. There's quite a lot of these. There's 21 all the way around actually. Currently empty at the moment. So the next step is to release this fill port here. I think, feeling for that, I think that is an 8mm Allen or hex. So I'll just try and squeeze that in. There's not a huge amount of room there, but I'll try and get that on, get it released, unscrewed, and then we'll start filling up with the new transmission fluid. Well, there's our first challenge, folks. Here is the meant to be an 8mm hex. Looks like someone's butchered it, so that's going to make it a little bit more problematic to get out, but I'll see what I can do. Well, it's some days later and I need to invest into a special tool. This is the Sealy VS266, and if you look at the side profile here, you can see that it's designed to access the ZF6 HP26 transmission without fouling the lip of the transmission pan or the chassis rail. There's literally a gap about this big under there. I wasted many hours trying to use my own tools without success. It looks like somebody had previously attempted to get the old fill port plug off and had given up. It's distorted, and as a consequence, this bit that has come with this kit is now jammed in there. However, I've been able to get it off, and you'll see here I've got a replacement one, which is just fine. That came with the kit, and all I did to get this, all I did was use my trusty Nielsen bar, slot it in like so, and then the bit just fits in here, and then I push that into the plug, and under the car I release the tension, because remember this is torqued up to about 35 newton meters of torque. It's not finger tight, it's quite a bit of tension on it, so I was literally able to lever it like that without fouling the chassis rail or the transmission sump pan lip. So if I bring you under the car, you'll see what I mean. So just here is where it sits, and you can see this bit here, it sticks out, and you can see, just if I hopefully focus in, you can see there's a little bit of rounding there, but there's probably, well, you can see here about 2 fingers worth of width here, so you can't get a ratchet set, you can't get a standard 8mm Allen key on there or anything. So honestly, save your time and get the Sealy special tool, which is a lot easier, and then just use a bar. There's a 3/8 fitting there, and just use the bar to crack it off like I have there. So all I'm going to do now is proceed with the transmission fill. That's a cold fill, and that's fine. I'm going to put in around 6 litres. So let's get on with that. So I've got my pump here that holds about 3 litres. Got a valve here, and it's a very flexible thing here, which would be ideal for getting into that tight fill space. There it goes. Right, this makes it a bit smaller. I think, yeah. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. See if you can see that. Not sure you can. There we go. So we're now filling using this. So it's pressurized, and I can see there's a few little bubbles going through, so you can see that it's filling. Well, we're getting a nice stream of oil here. I'd say that's looking a healthy stream of oil from the sump just there. Let's get my fingers. So I've got my friendly adapter here, so hopefully should just be able to do that up like so.
And that's fitting a lot better. Notice that the bit's not jammed in there, which is kind of good. Unlike the other plug, which has obviously been damaged, where somebody attempted to try and get it off before but failed potentially. Okay, I've cracked off the fill port nut again, and it's just gently oozing out. So now what I'm going to do the hot fill, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to let that drain a little bit more, and then I'm going to start up the engine and wait for about 2 minutes, cycle through reverse, neutral, drive, and then back again, holding the transmission for 3 seconds in reverse, neutral, and then 3 seconds in drive, and then back again. And then hopefully I'll get my temperature gun out and we'll check the temperature. Anything between probably 30, 35, maximum 40 degrees. Don't want any more than that. We'll see about getting it up to temperature, get that sort of temperature in there, and then we should adjust the level. Now I'm just going to add in a little bit more fluid. Just adding in some more fluid now, because I don't want it to get too low before I do the final hot fill test. So here we go. She's warm and she's now just dribbling out some fluid, so I know that I've got the max level. So what I need to do now carefully is basically refit the new fill port plug. So I'll do that just now. Okay, I managed to get the plug in while she's running. Managed to burn myself on the hot exhaust, so do be careful of that. Something to be very mindful of. But it's important that the its fluid is sorted out when the engine's running, and you've got a nice wisp of liquid coming out. You know you've got the right fill level. So I've been able to do that. And what I'm going to do now is, once it's cooled down a bit, so I don't burn myself, I'll use the special tool, and I'll also use this tensioner here. Now, interestingly, to set the correct tension, we want to have 35 Newton meters on the plug, right? So because I'm attaching that to the end of that, I need to calculate the distance of that, which is 5 centimeters. This whole ratchet torque wrench is 27.5 centimeters. So I need to times 27.5 by 35 Newton meters. And then I think I need to add 27.5 and 5, and then divide that into the previous answer, and that comes out at 29.6. I'll put it up on the screen because I can't remember it doing right here now. So what I'm going to do next is just torque up that fill port nut, and then we should be done. Okay, got the special tool in place and the torque wrench, and so now I can just, there you go, I'd already pre-tensioned. My torque wrench only goes up to 20 to 25. Our target was 29, so I've just given it a little bit extra, like so. And I'm happy now. That's not far off the required torque. And now I'm going to pack away, and job is a good one. Well, thanks ever so much for bearing with. We've had challenging weather, challenging conditions operating under the car as well. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of the content. If you did, and if you're following along with the series, please consider giving this a like. And if you're not subscribed already, maybe consider subscribing if you like this kind of content, event content, drive events, and so on and so forth, and sometimes car reviews as well. Thanks very much.